Hello guys, welcome back. So today we'll be learning about Julia Booleans. So it's a type bool. So we can go through it. It has only two values, either true or false, which we can represent in numerical fashion as 1 and 0. So for example, if we see type of true, this is a Boolean type, and even type of false, it's also a Boolean type. Now another thing to note is that it can support multiple arguments and like logical and or. So if you have seen like true and true is equal to false, for example, if I do true and true, which is true, if true and false, which is false, and false and false. So there is a truthy table which can be used. So I can try to see if I can get the truthy table. Yeah, there is one example of truthy table. So you can see here, you can see this is a negation one, and zero we can represent as true and false as one. So if we both are true, then true. If both are false and false, like this with or also. So we have true and all. So if I search here, for example, to table true and false. So yeah, this is good representation. If we see, if you can refer this and see what could be the output. We can generate the same output. Now in Julia, true is represented by, if its numerical value is, then it's 1. Otherwise it is 0. Now let's see. For example, if I determine x equals to true, there is one more thing, negation. So if we use negation, then it inverts the value. It will invert true to false. And we can use or as well. So for example, true or false, which is false, which we saw, true or true, which is true. Now let us also see that what happens, like if we have two variable, we can use true, we can use false, and we print this true and false. So let's see. So it is true. We can print as well. Another thing to note is that we can, since it's represented by number 1 and value. So for example, if I do true into a number which is, for example, 10, it will represent 10. So for example, if you do 10, it will do false. The reason being is that in Julia, this value is also considered the value 1, and it is considered value 0. So previously I said that true is 0, but yeah, true is 1 and false is 0. Now another thing is, for example, if I can also do true into not a number, then we get a not a number. And yeah, so another is like we can combine this true and false or true. So can you guess what could be the answer? Let me pause for 3 seconds. Okay, answer is true. Why? Because true and false becomes, and then false or true. So false and true will always be true if there is a true. Now one thing is that since we have represented numbers, so for example, if I true as 1 and false mm, true, what will happen? Let's see. Error, because we cannot use non-boolean type operation for this and or, so that's why we cannot do this. One more thing, we can check true equals to 1. It is true. Yes, true is 1. False equals to 0 is 0. So this is how it is represented. Cool. So in next, this is done for boolean values. In next lesson we'll go through other details in Julia. Thank you. Have a great day.